Alright, take two. Oh, it's blurry too now. Yeah. Alright, I think we finally got it, maybe. Let's see if the speeds go good. What a pain in the... Man, it was horrible. I think that's the problem with Friday nights. There's too much internet traffic or something. May have to call the provider and be like, what the is going on? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks Friday night late edition. And because of internet setbacks and all that crap, I think we got good sound. The picture looks good. And I think we're ready to go at this point. If I can actually... another thing goes wrong, I'm probably going to throw my airbrush across the room and shut everything off. Just FYI, everyone. Mike Manning, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay. Alright. What are we doing tonight, folks? We are doing... The Bride. The Frankenstein one was so fun to do, and Bride had been mentioned before. So I figured it would be a great time to do that and kind of finish off the holiday season. Because Halloween next week is on Thursday, I'm not sure I'm going to do a feed at all. I may do one late, just like trick-or-treaters and everything else. So if I do one, maybe I'll do it late, or I'll try to do one Friday. I'll keep you all posted. It is the week before SEMA, so we're in serious crunch time. So just keeping everyone aware. So keep an eye on the socials. I'll let everyone know what's going on from there. So what are we doing? Let me get to my good split screen here. This is the project. If you remember the Frankenstein piece was done paper cut and freehand mostly at that. This is going to be the same thing, but that was on a white panel or a dark, panel that I think I based it. It had like texture and grit in the base, if I remember right. Yeah, I think so. But this is going to start out on a pure black panel, so it's a slightly different approach, and that's kind of wanted to show the contrast and differences between doing a black and white image starting from a light color background versus a black and white image starting from a black background. It's two different approaches and two different ways to do it. So this is the classic Bride of Frankenstein pick, and I did a quick little Photoshop render with... I took the background out, put lightning in, did a little glow around, just so it's a better reference. You guys can see what I'm doing, and it makes a good thumbnail. I was thinking that I was me because PA location for the weekend. Oh yeah, no, it was all me. It was just my speeds would it would start out extra condition. I already killed Facebook. I figured every time I put Facebook on, it dropped. Figured it was that, and then. So you can share this over on Facebook, get people to come over here, because I'm not even bothering launching Facebook Live at the same time. My internet speed would start, at... I have a, 800 megabyte per second download, but my upload was around, it would go to 25 to 30, which is great. And then it would drop to 15, which is still fine, because you only need about, anything over 4 is great for an upload. And it would drop to 0.2. So I literally shut the computer down and restarted from there. That was the only way to do it. So now I think we're good. We're stable. I have a solid rate of 7-8 megabytes per second up. So we should be good to go. So there's some technical jargon. If it crashes from there, I won't be able to restart it tonight. It'll just be over. And I'll keep you all reposted after that. So, this is the project. I got my colors mixed up, and I want to thank, let's see if he's on here. I think he's on here. Is he on here? Michael Cohen for this lovely gift so I don't spill my paint. I added it onto a little rotisserie base, but it's just a tray that perfectly holds the medicine cups, which is awesome. This file is awesome, whoever did it. If you did it, yeah, that's killer. So, thank you very much. It finally got here. They got confused because my shop address had changed, and that's more of like a bigger place. So it multiple people get it, so they didn't even deliver it there. UPS had to call me and deliver it to my home office address, which is where the studio is. So yeah, got a little messed up, but we are back in action. So thank you for this. It's awesome. Like I said, I just put it on rotisserie, and we're good to go. All right, this is gonna be basic. Not basic, I should say basic. The key to this one is paper cut technique. I'm not even gonna do, I don't even think I'm gonna do a transfer, like meaning a pencil transfer. I mean, I might, but I think I'm just gonna go with cut and shoot, cut and spray. And now this may seem a little counterintuitive. Hold up. Let's talk about the colors I mixed up here, because you notice I got a couple different colors. So I got a gray, like a whitish gray, and that's what I'm going to start with in my tone, and my skin tone in this area. That way I can brighten it up. And then I'm thinking of adding a little, because it's regular, but I'm thinking the lightning and some of the glow effects, maybe a little UV fluorescent, because you can see when you put a black, one of these, like a black light on it, UV light, that glow where the white really doesn't. I think it might be a cool effect. I'm gonna give it a shot and just see if it works. So this could be a cool experiment. Like you can't, it does spray. It doesn't spray like super. They're a little granulated because I think that's just the thickness of the paint. Not as silky as I like it, but maybe I haven't messed with it too much lately. So let's see. We'll see how it works. I think for the outer glow, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray that on the outer glow after I put some white down for the lightning, and use that to like really make a cool effect. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear and see if it's a cool effect. Something new on the channel. All right. So a lot of times we look at these and say, oh, well, her skin's brighter, so let's start with that. I'm actually going to work background first and get the lightning kind of, not really the lightning so much, but just the glow. And then work into the face, and we'll talk about that. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to cut the silhouette of her face first. And I want to try to do this as accurate as possible the first time, so I can have the both positive and negative shape of her face. And basically get that nice silhouette. Like that. And when we get to the hair here, I'm just gonna keep it more towards the inside. That's gonna mainly be black. I want it pretty rough. I don't want straight edges. And that's mostly going to be the black of the panel. And I've never painted this image in years. I did a Frankenstein bike a long time ago. And I put this on the saddlebag. It was really cool. And it just looked great. So now I have a positive or negative of her face, which is cool. I'm going to use that. Let's just put that down. You know what? Maybe we'll do just... No, you know, I'll do the white, then I can do a transfer. Yeah. Yes, man. I hope everyone's having a great week. Great time. Let's put this... I want to line this edge up with the edge here because I want to have a 1/2 inch border. And then the nice thing about these magnets is this aluminum panel with the PVC core, with that plastic core. But these magnets are just strong enough that they usually will stick through. And then they'll hold the piece down. Alright, so now this is the UV, the fluorescent. Now if I put this down and then put white over it, it'll kill it because the white is opaque and it'll kill the effect. So you gotta put, when you're on black, if you want to see it and you want to do some highlighting, you want to get some white underneath it first. So we're gonna start with our base white. But now you didn't miss anything. We had to do that full restart, which was amazing. Made me very happy. So we're going to use Wicked Opaque white. I'm going to get that nice glow. I'm going to go around her like this. And I'm going to keep it really, I'm almost going to deflect an angle up from here so I get a very soft glow. Carry that out like that, and we can do the lightning. We can start a little bit. I'm just gonna more do the glow now. You can go a little strong, but don't go too nuts. Because it's mainly going to be covered up. I've done some lightning demos before. Getaways have been dead for a long time because Airbrush Action Magazine is gone and bust, so those will never happen again unless someone resurrects that from the dead. The circus itself, as far as I know, has nothing planned anytime in the future. Rob has a lot going on in his life, and there's that. And COVID shut it down, really. And it's so expensive to do now, they're just not really going to happen. You know, I've talked to a few people ask, and I tell people what they'd probably have to pay to see an event like that again. And everyone pretty much won't do it. So I just don't think you're going to... It's not an impossibility to see them, but it's unlikely, let's say that. Cost hotels, cost of booking the room, cost of flights and everything else, insurance and liability and all the stuff you have to do when you do these events would probably put what used to cost you like between $450 and maybe $700 for a class. That's really well done and set up. You could do a class. Small classes are happening all over the place. People do a nice shop, 10, 20 people, 30 people. But those big events at a hotel with a big destination stuff, you'd probably be looking over 1,000 or more to do one for a few days. Just because of the cost of everything now. And people just don't realize what it would run. Like back in the day when we used to do them, like you had to get, depending on the event and the venue, between 60 and 90 full paying students just to cover the cost before you hit break even. because you got to pay the instructors, which we weren't getting paid a lot. I could make twice as much working at my shop. So we did it because we loved it. But by the time they pay for our hotels, our flights, something, a little bit of food, the hall, you know, the insurance, the air, the CO2, just everything that goes along with it, staff to help. And it used to be the hotels would give a really nice rate when you brought in like 75 to 100 people staying 4 nights at a time. And that's gone down. So I just don't know. I hope it does come back. I just don't. I'm usually pretty optimistic on stuff, but I just don't see it. I just don't. Okay, so I got a little base white established. And you'll see if I take the UV light here, you know, the paper kind of lights up, but that paint doesn't do anything. Okay? So I want to take some of this UV glow, the UV white, fluorescent white, basically. And we're going to see what that does. So, I'm going to be nice about this. Yeah, it's a good gun. Works great. Take it apart about 50 times and 20 times just to put it back together. They're not as they're not as good for as long. They always spray nice at the beginning. And yes, I've used them quite extensively. They're a great gun. Just I don't like their action. I think their action is sloppy. And I've gone on record with and said it. It just doesn't flow as smooth. The machining just isn't the same. But it's cool. If people like them, cool. I had lots of issues with them. Alright, so let's see. So now you can see a glow. See how that lights up? Let's give it a glow all around her and see. Because that was not happening before. See how it dies out and then it glows and that doesn't? So that's the UV. It's like the fluorescent. And it's pretty clear, you don't see it. I'll probably put way more at the end. Yeah, well, that's what happens when it's mismanaged and other things. You kind of can't even really see this, but I'm doing some lightning streaks. I'm very familiar with them. My opinion still stands. But if you like it, man, it's cool. I don't like their even starting platform. Like I said, everything starts out. A Harbor Freight gun starts out great new. And the more they come apart and go back together, just I don't have the faith in them. I can't, if I turn the light, it's going to mess with all the cameras. And yeah, I didn't have time to do everything. With all the problems I have, we're lucky we're even on at this point, to be honest. Yeah. The candy will kind of tweak it a little bit. Won't really make it pop, but I have fluorescent blue and fluorescent purple I'm going to try to mix in just to give it some color tint and see what that does. I'm experimenting a lot with this, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, you'll love the eclipses. I mean, I have eclipses that are going on 20 plus years. Yeah, this is a fluorescent blue I'm mixing in. I probably should have mixed it stronger. It'll probably still mute it a bit, because you got to be careful too, because once you add UV, if you add the UVLS into it, the UV will tend to kill it, because the UV inhibitors. And that is also a problem with some of the there used to be a UV paint that actually needed Luminol to activate it. I don't know what luminol is. I need a Luminol, which is to paint the Luma effects a long time ago before that. Yeah, I might try some. Might try some candy mix over this. I'm not sure yet. I mostly want it like a black and white, and then just have that pop come afterwards is what I was really looking for. So. Yeah, the Japanese-made airbrushes also have better tooling and better metalsmith that is not duplicated in the U.S., unfortunately. Anyone who's tried to make needles learns that pretty quick, that the tooling on their metals and their steel is just a better grade than anything here. And that's just how it is. But you know what? I don't want to get into airbrush debates on a brand I don't really use. And it's not what this is about, so. So what'll happen, like when I put the white over it, you'll notice a lot of it will just will kill. It'll actually, it's hard. You can see it here. It kind of goes. It just dies. You lose the glow, but it looks good in person, and I kind of like it that it'll glow around the outer edge. No, it doesn't glow in the dark. It's a UV reactive. Glow in the dark paint sucks. None of it works well. And if you put it on a car or anything that sits outside in the sun, 6 months it's dead. Okay. So now we got a nice silhouette. And now I can start doing her face. What I'll do is I'll bring it in and I can kind of cut back in the other way and tone it. Let me see. You know what? I do want to mix up a little bit of candy blue. I want to tone this down and see what happens. Let's try it. Well, luckily we've gotten behind iodine, water, and IPA and have better products. You know what I'm going to try? I'm just going to do... I'm going to mix up a transparent blue instead of a candy blue. And just do a very fine tint over it. Keep it reduced. And even UV paint and glow paint, even in house lights, it wears out. Unless you're in like a Disney dark ride. And even those have to be redone every few years. The newer stuff lasts a lot longer, but the old stuff is just horrible. Illustration blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it mostly in the negative space. That's the bulk of it. That'll kind of darken things down. And then if I go over it with the UV, towards the end it'll be a big flicker. Just a nice quick fade. I'm not going to have any blue in her. And maybe I'll do a little purple outside here. Yeah, I always use a 40-50 for mine. Yeah, I don't go darker like purple out here. Then we'll come back in later. Go from there, let's see. Let's see if that does anything. Yeah, you still get a slight flicker. I think when I go back over it later at the end, it'll be good. Cool. All right, let's do white. You know, I am going to do a quick pencil transfer just because I want to freehand a little white for shading before I start using some cutouts. So let's do this. Let's go here. Hope everyone had a good week overall. It's been crazy around here with SEMA around the bend. Trying to get ready for that. Yeah, and I am down to the wire on some of this. But we'll make it. We'll make it happen. So I've said this before, I do this a lot. No, 40-30 is not an intercoat. 40-30 is a balancing clear. They had a lot of issues with it gelling up. It's not used as an intercoat or top coat. What 40-30 is, it's a polyurethane basically converter, so it changes your acrylic into like basically into a polyurethane, you know, like a water base into a poly. So it basically converts it. 40-50 is a better version of that, and it is a more intercoat and even top coat resin base system. Like, I don't use the 40-30 for anything anymore. I don't even touch it. Because the 40-50 is so much better. The 40-30 basically made water-based acrylic paints stick like automotive. And then you have the 40-53, 40-51. Those are different lusters, like gloss, high gloss, matte, satin. That's the only differences there. Let's do a quick pencil transfer, soft lead. Take a pen. When you do your final top coat, you can use 40-50. If it's the only thing about 40-50 overall, it's not fuel grade or like automotive grade high gloss. You can get it, you can buff it really well and get it close, but it's more, think of it like a furniture gloss, high gloss. So it's great for indoor and architectural. It is not automotive grade. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, see, oh yeah, you can see it. So I just want to aid this in registration so I can do a lot more freehand with it. But all my automotive stuff gets cleared in 2K clear. It's, you know, I have not seen a water-based clear fully yet that I would do a whole car with, or a motorcycle that's fully fuel safe. It can handle everything like that. And this is just going to aid me when I'm doing, because I'm going to basically freehand or skin tone and get that in loose, and then go from there. You know, do all the shading and toning and stuff like that. The beginning of this night really kind of messed me up. I just can't get my words straight what I want to be saying. I want to know what the scar is here. And I can even kind of draw in like where the heavy shadows is. Almost like when you see like a tattoo artist lay out like the basic shading of the tattoos and stuff like that. The hair is mostly black, so you're just going to see some little stuff. We use some texture effects and things like that to make it happen. Because pencil graphite isn't black, it kind of reflects. See how you can just kind of see it? Actually, I wonder if... So I can see it pretty good here, better than you can. So it's great for me to paint. But if you look, see what it does? That's why I love using this. I used to always use like Stabilo in white chalk and have to fight it, especially when I put too much paint over it. This, when you start going over it and you paint and clear, this stuff will pretty much just disappear. It's black on black. It works amazing. Nice little down and dirty trick, if you will. And then I'm going to lightly hit kind of where the shading is. And there we go. Oh, okay. Here, the hair. So her hair comes down here, it's over here. Her scar comes up here. I have a better photo reference up here because you see the paper, it doesn't show a lot of the detail. Go from there. Cool. And now you can see it. And that's why I like doing this method. All right. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is whenever I do black and white images like this, I never start with pure white because you got nowhere to go. It's like starting with pure black on a t-shirt. Once it's down, you can't really, once you're at 100% coverage, you can't go any further. And then you gotta lighten it and you're fighting it. So I always start a lot of my work with a gray. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Drew Blair's micro dots to give some skin texture right out of the gate. See what it does? So you get skin. And a lot of it will go away, but you can already kind of start seeing a little bit of it, especially like right here in the cheekbone. Like if you look in the cheekbone area here, you can see all that skin texture on her eyebrows, which was like the cake makeup back then, you know, that we can see now. But when it looks cool to put it in, and kind of lock everything up. And I'm gonna hit like the highlights. Tabletop is coming along. We just had a meeting today about Adepticon, because we're going to be doing classes at Adepticon Milwaukee. So we're going to be doing a beginner intro, 2 of those, like a 4-hour class, 2 of those, and then on another day we're doing man, I can't think today. We're doing a 6-hour masterclass. I'll post more details about that. Me and another model painter, Joe, I forget his off the top of my head. coming to mind. So basically now I'm just starting just flushing in the brights. I like the cheekbones, the chin. Almost like painting a skull. The heavy bridge here, bright here. Remember, this is a gray, so when I put white over it, it's going to really pop. There's the nose. Right under the eyes, pretty bright. Oh, just little makers, nothing crazy. This is pretty thick, so I'm not trying to do anything fine because I mix this pretty much on the thick side. Ear here. Really just setting it up. But so you can just start to see things kind of form. That's all I'm doing right now. Because this is a gray and I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut it back, I'm going to brighten it up with some white, but I'm going to register in all her details like her eyebrows and stuff again. And the hair. This is where I'm going to reduce this a little more. Well, I lost a lot of time. It's already 9 o'clock. Alright, so now I'm just going to each side and just loosely registering them in of where all these wrinkles are. If you're not comfortable with this, you could use a stencil. Just doing a soft registration. You can make it crisper and sharper as you go. And I'll come in here with loose shields and stuff. Well, you missed a very bad start. We had to restart the feed. So we just haven't done too much yet. And the way it's looking, we're probably going to try to finish this during the week because I'm probably not going to finish it tonight. Depends how my mood keeps going. I take white, I put a little bit of black in this case a little bit of purple, till I like it. That's it. You know, I make like a medium tone, light gray. Just something I can build from. I don't want it too dark, I don't want it too white. It's just something I can work from. And then what we can do, just to simulate a little hair, and just take a little texture stencil on a jar of mayonnaise. I think this is GraFx 3. I'm doing alright, doing alright. A little stressed and a little disconnected because of the way this started. But and you can do this too, you can move and just get little wiggles. Most of it's going to be gone afterwards, so it's not going to hurt to put a little bit in. And this way something, the black has something to go off of. And that way when you can even, if I want a little bit extra, put it in here, I can take a little bit of Gerald's and just keep adding just a little bit. And it's gonna, like I said, if you do enough of it, it's gonna go away. And go from there. Whoops, wrong one. So now you can see different angles. You can see how it's just kind of starting out. Again, I like Drew's micro dots. This is Createx Illustration Opaque White that I mixed into a gray. And then the other colors I have here, I have, this is my gray. I have a UV white, which is what I was using for the glow earlier. So it's fluorescent UV reactive. I have Illustration Black, semi-opaque that I mixed up with a little bit of purple, but it's mostly black. Then I have a Candy Black here. Like I said, I'm not trying to make these super exact right now. This is just, think of this stage as the rough sketch. That's it. That's all this is. A really rough sketch to work from. Okay. So now, so I can go back to this now. And I can re-hit those pencil lines again. But I'm not going to hit these where the shadows were. I'm just going to hit where it's going to be dark. And get that transfer. And I don't want to put too much. I just want to put just enough for the guide. And then I'm actually going to cut these shapes out. We'll blow them in here. Like here, you don't want to put much there because it'll be hard to bury that out. You almost can't even see it. Again, I can see it here, but very faint. Where the scars are. Cool. Ty, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. No, not Sorel, just graphite from a really soft pencil. I hate Sorel. I used to swear by it way back in the day till I knew better. It's too. I don't like it. It's too waxy. I think it puts too much material down. If I do use Sorel, I usually wipe off about 80% of it, so I don't have to use too much of it. Oh, nice. I paint minis as well. I'm going to be teaching at Adepticon in this coming March in Milwaukee. And we'll be teaching a beginner intro and a master class. So we just actually had a meeting about an hour before this about it. And I have a new channel that I'm working on. It's not ready yet. It's not out yet. But it'll be tabletop airbrush. And that's going to be available soon. Yeah, it gets everywhere, and then like the white Sorel on black, I find that really waxy, and it just, I don't know. Like I said, I used to use it, and then I realized how much I was fighting it, and I just found better solutions. But Zayas 69, yeah, just if you go to the Iwata YouTube channel, Iwata Airbrush channel, I have a how-to there. I did a damn, what's his name? Just lost it. Man, my brain is shot today. I didn't sleep well last night, and I was up super early. Oh, a Cursling. I just did a Cursling from Age of Sigmar that is available. It's about a 2-hour how-to on the Iwata channel. And that's eventually going to be on mine as well. Just haven't done it yet. Cut these eyelashes out. So I'm just going to do the top one. And then we'll go here. Do where the pupil rests. I'm going to do the bottom 1 second. Yeah, you just use a, and it's a lot darker, you just use a really soft lead like a 4B or something like that. So I haven't tried it yet, but the other reducers from Cratex has been compatible with Citadel and Vallejo. It's very similar. So I don't see any reason why the 4020 wouldn't work. I would test it, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. But I haven't physically done it, so I'm not going to say 100%. But pretty sure it will be almost identical. Gary Shees, thank you, sir. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Let's put you here. And we'll get this established. And then I gotta figure a day early, sometime next week, or it's gonna be after Halloween. Oh, I gotta finish before Halloween. I'm just juggling SEMA stuff too right now. Okay, so now I'm going to take my black here, which my black has a little bit of purple mix, just so it's a little, shows a little bit better. And just got to show just a little bit of this. Get the nose nostril right there. Just enough so I can see where everything is. And that's all this is for, is just some registration. And I'll cut the bottom eyelid. And it's a lot of freehand from here. Just a little bit down here. You can see it's just enough to get that nice registration. And same thing with the nose. If you notice, this side of the nostril is darker because of the uplighting. So I can fold this back a little bit. And I get the nostril there, and then this side I'm going to hit just like that. That starts to show that out. Just enough to get that nice registration. Hey, honey. Okay. Now the scar's pretty solid here, so I'm just going to register that in. You could cut it. But I'm just going to go for it. Freehand. And just kind of map it out. I'm going to shade that in. It's got some white marks. Now we get back towards the hair. See, I really just use that stencil of the paper just for placement. Now I'm going in freehand, hair by hair, basically. I'm going to render that eyebrow. Yeah. Oh, this has to zoom back out. You can see a little bit more light. There we go. Thin that out a little bit. Thank you so much, honey. Gonna soften that up a little bit also. We come in, just put a little bit more of the skin pores in. few little wrinkles. You gotta get the eyelid in. We're being really small here. A little bit under your eyes, a little bit here. I'm going to do a lot of this with the candy black. I'm really just trying to establish like the big darks. And then I want to get away from this color as fast as possible. It's really just to establish all the mains. Kind of bring those cheekbones down. Again, this is a nice area if you have the micro dots. See how I come in here right with the micro dots and it just starts to create the cheekbones. But if you look really close to it, you can see it's actually skin texture. Yeah, maybe he will. I mentioned it. It'd be a cool collection. I'm not sure if that will happen. But we shall see. I'll get under this cheekbone here. And it's really just establishing everything. Thanks, man. It'll come together. Now the hair is pretty like fuzzy here. And it's going to be mostly black. So you can take a stencil like this out here and just kind of start adding lots of little interest. This is where dagger strokes are your friend. Just slowly work them in. No bids right now. No bids, no bids. If you didn't join, I put UV glow here. So under a black light, the lightning is going to have... See how this white doesn't light up? See? Nothing, 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 nothing. You get here, it goes bright blue. And like a bright bluish purple for the lightning effects. So that's going to be cool. Because you get that glow. Look at that. So maybe when I come in to finish this, I'll bring a bigger black light in here and finish it under black light so you can really see the glow. Because it'd be cool to have this glow, then have like the cheekbones and like the front forehead light up under it, and it'll be a really cool effect. No, practicing on construction paper is a great idea. Whatever you can use to get brush control down and practice dagger strokes. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Paper towels, construction paper. You can get Pellon pretty cheap at fabric stores that act more like a t-shirt. It gives you time to like slow down. Like I said, this is just kind of, again, now we're like 1 degree above the sketch. Now we're starting to refine a little bit. Yeah, pretty much. And I think it's still long enough. It's a good way to put it. Let's get that heavy shadow established. Like right here. And if you want to really get the hair like photo perfect, like just the shape, you can use like an edge, because this is pretty solid right here when you look at them. When you look at the reference. So I can go like this. And just loosely put in that shadow. See how I just really went soft there? Now same thing. I'm going to put that here, line it up. I can fold it like that. I let the edge kind of flick up so I don't get a hard edge. You see what that shadow does there? Now you start getting the feeling of this piece overall. And if you struggle with ears, I always hated drawing ears. You can actually, again, use this to establish. This is really good if you have trouble with like freehand sketching, like proportions. This is really good to do that. Was I always artistic? I was always into creating. Yeah. I was always into creating things and sketching and drawing, and just loved it and developed better. It is something that has to be practiced and learned. Because I've always said that the talent is 10% of it. The rest is drive and practice. and not being afraid to mess up and fail, and then trying again, and then trying again, and trying again. Because if you're not willing to do that, especially with airbrushing, it's hard to learn. And I get better and better over time. One thing about practicing and doing things, you typically don't get worse at it. But it never happens as fast as you want. So always keep that in mind. And the more you practice, the more techniques you learn, and the better you get. I appreciate it. And it's I've been doing it a long time. So I started when I was 15. Started as a t-shirt artist. Did a lot of t-shirts through high school. Some wall murals here and there. And I didn't get into like motorcycles and cars and stuff till much later. Gary, yeah, you know, it's true. You typically don't get worse. But it gets frustrating because you want to get better faster and you think you're improving. And you do, and then you do something out of your comfort zone and you suck again. But then you get back up and you say, oh, I can do this better. You know, getting back into the mini painting and doing that has been actually humbling because I've had to relearn some skills I was good at years ago. And then new techniques and different techniques. So that's what's really exciting about getting into that. Doing more with that hobby because it's, you know, not that I run out of stuff to learn here, but it's just cool. It's nice to do something with a different challenge set. You know what I mean? And I didn't pay attention much in high school art. I was decent at it. And man, I wish I had to relearn so much stuff afterwards, like proportion and things I was never good at, because I just wanted to do the cool stuff. And I had to learn how to make the cool stuff look cooler by actually learning good techniques. And this muscle memory, you just gotta, you know, the more you keep this in your hand, just like guitar, drums, or anything else, you practice daily, and it comes. It really does. And when I'm doing this, it'll get better. Fires, man. Fire's not for beginners. It looks like you could be, but man, it's hard. It's so hard to get right. And even I've been doing it a long time, as we all know, and I still sometimes start out, I'm like, oh, that's horrible. You know what I mean? I still do it to this day. But I have enough confidence to say, I can pull it back. If I adjust this, I can make this look better. You know? And so you'll get there. And one of the best compliments I got from Mike from LaValle was I did this car. It was a blue Mustang. And I did a traditional fire color on blue and got it to really look nice and not muddy and pop. And he was like, that looks really good. He goes like, because I never get it to look good on that. And obviously he does, but, you know, it was just nice of him to say. And then I remember, this is old Airbrush.com days. I did a pink rose with pink, like bright pink fire. And Mike hadn't done pink fire yet. And he's like, he wrote on the thing, he's like, awesome, stealing this, thanks. And I had no problem. Obviously, we all learned to do fire well because of his techniques. So, yeah, I was all good. Control is part of it. Okay, so now, so see, because I use that gray. Yeah, he did a great job on that. He really did a killer job. I'm looking forward to seeing it at SEMA. So cool. So now I go with white. Watch how much better white over gray starts to pull things together. Because now, watch, I can pull this cheekbone out. With just that little bit, starts to brighten it. Without having to flood it to get, like, the cheekbones established. You know what I mean? It comes together a lot faster and easier. Watch this forehead. I get this forehead now. To pop. Much easier. I can use the skin tone, this micro dots to put a little skin here. And I'll put it here in the cheekbones. And you can see that nice texture. I don't think... Oh my god. Honey, I'm sorry. I noticed your bid and then I forgot to say thank you. We have a bid of 150 on this to kick it off. So you are the high bid. I forgot to make mention to it. So I did see it. I do have it. It's in my head. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Sounds. And I want to get this eye nice and bright. And the longest thing it took me to learn, the hardest thing to learn for me was, I started as a t-shirt artist, so everything was really bam, bam, bright, instant, fast, make quick cash. The hardest thing for me was learn to slow down and work softly and slowly. And when I finally did, and I started doing this, where I started with gray and I built into white and I toned it down and took my time. I finally learned the meaning of slow is fast, fast is slow, because the painting actually came together quicker, even though I was taking more time. I was doing it in slower batches, because I wasn't constantly fighting it. I wasn't going dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light until I was happy. So I was doing so much black, so much white, and so much this. So now I just take my time and build things. Like it's really bright here. And then I'll cut in with the black candy to do all my final darks. But see, now I can get their cheek really bright just under the lip. Really bright. Come up, and now that softens up that. And again, it looks, if I was to stop here, I'm like, oh my god. If someone walks in now, they're like, oh, that's horrible. Why does it look so blah? Well, because this is the in-between stage. This is when you're not supposed to see it. This is when the customer calls, how's it looking? Good. Can you send me a picture? Nope. Trust the process. Trust the process. Oh, so you just leave my stuff in the closet. I see how it is. I see how it is. So your earlier count was wrong. And then you got one here on the bench. I gotta wrap up for you. Okay, so now what I need to do $39. It's pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do, I want to get her, she needs a little bit more pop. So I'm going to add a little more blue. Break her apart, and then we're going to probably call this a night very shortly. Try to do this without better separation here. There we go. She needs to separate more. Michael Cohen, you have to do that. Thank you, man. I really do like this thing, by the way. Thank you very much. Did you create this STL? Or was it just one you found? Because it's really cool. Oh, someone asked about the red tape. Yes, this is FBS red. It's not that it's lower tack. It might be a little bit lower tack than the blue, but not much. It's softer and thinner. So it's very, very thin. It's actually more formulated for water-based, too. But it's, if you were to turn it on its side, it's thinner than the blue, which the blue is thinner than the orange, thinner than the green. So it's a different scale. No, it's cool. It works out great. And now when I pop that lightning later, it's going to work really good. And I can kiss a little. Very faint amount of blue over this. And this really establishes the basic kind of, not 50% point, but pretty close to the 50% point. It's better for water-based, but it's also super soft. So if you bend it too much and stretch it, it'll peel, it'll roll on itself a little bit. So you the red, you don't like pull into shape. You just kind of guide it. Because if you over pull it and it's really hot out, you're gonna have issues with it. I think right about there, we're gonna kill it. Until the next one. Sorry for the rough start. I would try to keep going until this is done tonight, but I'm probably gonna fall asleep on you because I got up really early this morning. I started my day at 6:30, so yeah, we are running on fumes. And with that, there's a lot of you guys here. I even slacked on this. I want to thank all my down and dirty tricksters, and a few more people crossed into the Gold Skull Zone. Thank you all for your support in helping this channel grow. So that does give you your discount off downloads. And swag and stuff like that. I gotta come up with some more swag and some more stuff for everyone. I need to work with someone to help me kind of develop some more stuff. But I don't have time to do it all. Gotta find time. Gotta find more time. But yeah, so you see this is a good stopping point because right about here is where you start heading towards the wrap up. So two things, it comes together fast, but it can also mess up really fast. So it's a good breaking point. You step away, come back and look at it. You see what you did right, what you did wrong, where you could use some improvement if you need to like reshape anything before you go in for those final details, those final highlights. And that'll get us there. Yes, if you don't like the feed, please like, subscribe, thumbs up, share it, all that fun stuff. Tell all your friends and neighbors. We still have some prints over at MckayFineArt.com as well. There's a handful of prints. I think we got one metal print. I got a bunch of canvas prints of the steampunk, Steam Nouveau. And those will be retired soon. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to try to work on a time to get this done before Halloween. Or on Halloween night. Maybe we'll wrap it up there. It just depends if I can, how busy we are on that night. But trick-or-treaters usually stop probably around 8. So maybe I'll, instead of doing an 8 o'clock Thursday night feed, maybe I'll do like a late night Halloween feed. Do like 9:30 next week. And we'll wrap this up on Halloween. And go from there. I think that'll be a cool way to cap it off. Cap Halloween, then I'm off to SEMA, which this week after we'll be taking a break. But I'll be doing some broadcasts from SEMA. So, hope you all enjoyed it. Sorry for the rough start with the internet, but we made it through. So, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that, join members. And, you know, it's amazing, because when I watch the videos back, look at the stats, it's common on YouTube. Like 60%, 50% of watchers don't subscribe. And I don't know if it's because they think it costs anything or they just don't think of it, but subscribing is free. If you don't want notifications, don't turn them on. If you want to know when I'm doing impromptu or coming on, have notifications turned on. I don't go crazy spamming people at all, so you'll know when I'm about to go live. So thank you for all popping in. Have an awesome evening. See y'all next week.